My single life is not a waiting room, and a life with
And honestly, this comes from years, decades, centuries of women being told that their only purpose is to be a wife and a mother. So now the girlies are out here losing weight to get a man, going to therapy to get a man, leveling up to get a man, working on their finances to get a man, and anything else that you can think of to get a man. I remember when I was heavy into the church, and we had this thing called small groups. And a lot of the small groups that had the bigger numbers were the small groups that were geared towards praying for your husband. Mind you, none of these women were married. It was simply praying for a future husband, or preparing for your future husband, or how to keep the marriage going if you were a married woman, or how to pray for your husband if you were currently married. Everything was geared towards holding the relationship together, getting into a marriage, things like that, how to be a better mom, all of those things, right? But the male centered small groups were always centered around, let's go play frisbee, let's go play soccer. It was always like around some intramural sport, or let's go watch the game together. Or, the more serious groups were like just general prayer groups, right? And then let's not even get started on the type of books that are out there from women that are religious or secular. How to get a man, how to keep a man, how to pray for a man, how to, be a wife, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just, when it's been thrown at you for centuries, hearing that single life is healthy, single life can be fun, single life can be good, hearing anything like that can be very triggering for a lot of women, because women really have been brought up for so long being taught that being a wife and a mother was the end all be all. And so I do believe that the generations coming up behind us, we're going to see more of the change with them, because our groups, we're waking up to it and we're realizing we don't have to do that anymore. I remember there was this book, I can't remember the name of it, but it was heavy when I was in my church girl era. Um, but it was centered around praying for your future husband. I can't remember if that's the exact title of it, but even when I was reading it then, I even knew then, I was like, it feels like there's so much preparation that a woman puts into to wanting to become a wife, if you're religious or not. It just feels like there's so much preparation that goes into it. And a lot of the church girlies, some of them, their favorite story is the story of Esther, and oh, she prepared for King Xerxes and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, we really read into this shit and really drank the Kool-Aid. Even, in more modern times, I don't know if, how deep y'all have been on Facebook, but the past couple of years, that woman, Roe, from the wife school, it was just, it was like knee deep craziness. Like, if y'all were around for Roe's era, it was absolutely batshit crazy. And you had a lot of critical thinkers that used to say, okay, you got a wife school, where's husband school? Who's teaching these men to become husbands? Who's preparing these men to become husbands? And I said this last year. I said, if all of these women are spending their single time prepping to become a wife and a mother, what are the men doing? What are they doing? Are they prepping? Are they getting their money up? Are they working on themselves? Absolutely not. Not in the numbers that are needed for the amount of women that are out here putting in the work to become wives and mothers. It's imbalanced. And I've always said that it's imbalanced. You have all of these life coaches and relationship gurus and coaches that are, oh, I'm prepping women to be wives and mothers and getting them ready. Okay, and that's cool, but who are they going to marry? If they're putting in all of this work, who are they going to marry if that is the sole reason why they are prepping? So when I came out of my church girl era and I started realizing that everything that I was doing was to get a man, to keep a man, I immediately put a stop to it. And it's crazy because when I was doing it to get chosen, basically, it never lasted long. But the moment that I shifted my focus to doing it for me, it lasted long. The weight loss level up lasted longer. The going to therapy for myself, the results lasted longer. The financial level up lasted longer. Things lasted longer because it was tied to a stronger why. I've always said if you're going to achieve things, it has to be tied to a strong why. And tying it to getting a husband or having children, that is not a strong enough why for a lot of women. I remember an old friend of mine just expressing the just she was so upset that, and she's a church girly, and she was just so upset at the fact that, all her life, she was serving God, she was in the church and doing this and doing that, but there were no marriageable men. And she was like a lot of women, she was doing a lot of things to get a man. Now, not her relationship with God, not that, but just a lot of the other things were very performative. And I remember her having this attitude of, I'm doing all of this, where is my husband? And for a lot of those women, and I wouldn't ever shame a woman about that, because when you set up our society in a way that, it's like, okay, jump through these hoops and you'll get a husband. Those are some of the attitudes that you're going to get back. And a lot of these girls are wondering, where the hell is my return on investment? Because you said if I lost weight, my husband would be on the way. You said if I, took care of my education, my husband would be on the way. You said if I didn't have babies out of wedlock, my husband would be on, like, this is what you're going to see. So yeah, it's a lot of women on this app and in real life emotionally breaking down because they're wanting to know, where the hell is the return on my investment? Where is my man? And I hate that for them, because it was a setup from start to finish. The men never had to prepare. They never had to go to husband school. Nothing has been required of them. They don't go and say, oh, I'm going to go lose weight and get in shape for my future wife. Oh, I'm going to go to this single men seminar to learn how to be a husband and a father. It's always been imbalanced. And just like a lot of creators have said, if you're going to have all these women, having to be fit, feminine, friendly, just as an example, why are they being forced, and I'm using forced, in quotes, to just select anybody that selects them back? Women are out here dating men that they don't find, physically appealing, physically attractive. Some women have settled for men that are not even financially attractive. The girls are really settling. And you've just got this huge imbalance. Men are out here complaining about, oh, you didn't want me when I was fat and broke. Like, no, I didn't. So it's like, but they expect for their woman to be fit, feminine, and friendly. So it's like, I get why the girls are upset, because they want the return on their investment. And I understand the emotional breakdowns that we are seeing on this app. However, if you are a single woman and you're listening to this, just understand, I want you to be doing these things for you, because you matter, and your goals should be for you, not to get a man, not to become a mother one day, but to take care of you. And if you are a married woman, please get in my comments and let these women know that it needs to be done for them. Anyway, like and follow for more. Bye.
I'm a fat old black ass nigga. Looks matter. They matter.
Y'all are just now getting this? Like, seriously, y'all are just now getting the memo. And I'm not talking about this creator in particular. I am just reminded of the whole, oh, women need to be fit, feminine, and friendly, and how for centuries men's looks and their appearance has never really been called to the carpet. I did a video Saturday where I talked about how there are a lot of women that are angry on this app and in real life because they put in so much work on themselves and trying to shoot for that fit, feminine, and friendly thing that they thought would land them a husband, and how they are mad and they're looking for the return on their investment and they don't have it. And I'm also happy to see a lot of women are waking up to the fact that they don't have to accept unattractive men, ugly men, out of shape men. For so long, men just had this attitude that women were the only ones that were supposed to be pleasing to look at, which is totally false. Sorry, I'm opening packages. But it's like, how are y'all just getting this? How are y'all just getting that women also want something pleasing to look at? Women also want someone attractive. They want someone that takes care of their health. I mean, my God, you have men that won't even go to the doctor. They wait until they're on their deathbed, and then it's usually some woman that had to force them to go, or they just never go ever. And then you've also got, men on here crying about mental health when it's like, it's your health to deal with. You have to make the therapy appointments. You need to reach out to your EAP. You need to get on your Blue Cross portal and figure out what provider you can go see, what therapist you can go see, what life coach you can get, just something, anything to take care of yourself. So again, like I said, I'm not talking about that creator. It's just his video just really reminded me that I wanted to talk about that, because Saturday, when I made that video, I just realized that so many women, they have turned themselves inside out, trying to place themselves in a better position in the dating market, only to be met with men that haven't done the work. They won't do therapy. They won't go to the gym. They won't go to the doctor. They just won't take care of themselves. And it's like they just show up and it's like, here, this is it. This is all, you know what I'm saying? This is what you're getting. But then you've got women that are like busting their ass to, lose weight, get in shape, get their mental together, make sure that their dating resume looks spectacular. And they're not pleased with what they're seeing in the dating market. I mean, my God, look at what the content that's being put out about when women go on dating sites and you see these men, they just half-ass throw their profiles together. And I'm not saying all of them do it, but they're the majority of those men, they get on these dating apps and they just throw anything out there. Nothing about them. The bio sucks. It's just, you can just tell for so long the dating scene has been in their favor, and they have just been able to show up any old kind of way. And, with movements like 4B and, women just choosing to be celibate and to be single, the rise of the lonely male, things like that. Women are just like, all right, if I cannot get what I want, I will opt out. And there is a big shift going on for us right now. We are moving away from our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers' way of having to date and get married. For a lot of them, it was survival. They needed to survive. They needed to have a roof over their children's heads. They needed to go from their father's house to someone else's house, or else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now that marriage is now optional for women, women are saying, okay, well, I don't have to do this. I don't have to get married. I don't have to have children. A content creator did a video the other day, and it just really opened my eyes and reminded me we really are kind of living our grandmothers and great grandmothers' wildest dreams. Like, we have the option to have an apartment, to rent a house, to have a townhouse, to buy a home. We have the option to own businesses. We have options that our elders never saw. And I like to think if my own grandmother or great grandmother were here, they would be amazed, and they would be like, wow, you can have your own place. You've got your own bank account. Like, you're living. And one content creator, it was a nice clap back, but this guy was in her comments trying to be snarky, and he was trying to be snarky about her being a single mom. And she was like, I bet I'm living the life that your mother wished she could have lived, which is to be a single mother and not forced to be married to your father. And I'm paraphrasing or whatever, but it just made me think, like, wow, we really do have the options that they did not have. And so women are becoming more choosy, which is good, because hell, who don't want to have something nice to look at?